Club. Welcome to week 4 of Kids Club. It is great to see you today, and it is great to have Milky here with us again.
Hey kids! Hey Johanna! How are you?
I'm alright. I'm in the midst of
No, just hold on. There's something important thing. I want to share something with you.
alright.
Some really cool information I've got.
Okay, share it.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Hey kids, I'm excited. Okay, Johanna.
Yeah.
Did you know whales make milk?
Whales?
Yeah, whales are mammals, and all mammals make milk. And so whales make milk. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Well, let me tell you more about their milk. Did you know their milk
Yes?
is 50% fat consistency?
What does that mean?
It means it's like toothpaste.
Oh!
Their milk's like toothpaste. It's so good. And do you know how much milk they make every day?
No, I don't.
A mother whale will make 200 liters. 200 liters every day.
Wow, 200 litres
200 liters
every day.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what I wanted to say was, welcome to... Sorry, yes?
Oh,
Do you have more milk?
milk. More whale milk. You know what it tastes like?
What does it taste like?
Fish.
Oh.
It tastes like fish. It's so yum.
What?
It's like milk that tastes like fish.
I'm glad you didn't bring me any whale milk this week, Milky.
Oh, I did. I can go get it for you if you want.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got some in a toothpaste container.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, should we watch Johanna eat some toothpaste, kids?
Well, maybe not. Maybe don't encourage that,
Okay.
Milky. I mean, like, I'll use it.
Maybe once we meet in person again, you can eat some toothpaste and all the kids can watch.
Well, I mean, I brush my teeth quite regularly.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't eat no one eats toothpaste, Milky.
Oh,
Do you eat toothpaste?
yeah, because it looks like milk.
Oh, you're crazy. Well, anyway, let's meet Mel, and maybe,
I love meeting people.
I know. Let's meet Mel, all right?
Hey Milky, it's Mel, and I'm one of the leaders at Kids Club. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm glad that you're joining us for Kids Online. I know that when you meet new people, you like to ask them 3 questions to get to know them better, so I'll answer them for you now. My full name is Melanie Louise Marshall, and I'm 40 years old. My favourite drink is peach iced tea. I love that you love meeting new people, and this term in the Bible, we're learning how God meets people. And I just want to tell you that in the Bible, there are stories about groups of people experiencing God. God speaks and acts directly towards nations like Israel, and those groups of real people meet God. I hope you have fun learning about that this week. Bye.
Did you enjoy meeting Mel, Milky?
Oh yeah, she seems cool. But what's peach iced tea, Johanna?
Well, it's a drink.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any milk in it.
What?
Yeah.
No milk?
Yeah.
What? What? I don't know what to say.
Well,
what kind of drink is that?
a lot of people like drinks that don't have milk in them, Milky.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well,
No way.
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I've never heard of anyone like that.
Well, my favourite drink's Coke.
Oh, that's right.
And,
What?
Mel, that's another person.
Well, could you put some milk in iced tea?
Maybe, I wouldn't. But maybe when we meet the other leaders, maybe they'll like milk.
Maybe. Hey, kids, do you guys like milk?
Well, I hope so.
Send in your milk, your favourite kind of milk, to Johanna, and she'll tell me.
All right, Milky. Why don't we kind of get into what we're looking at this week? Because Mel kind of told us about what we were going to be looking at this week.
Yeah.
Last week we looked at how God spoke to individual people in the Bible.
Oh yeah, like Abraham.
Yeah, we looked at the story of Abraham and blessing, which is God's favor.
Oh, the flavor.
Not flavor.
Flavor.
You're not even listening, Milky.
Favor.
Favor. Come on.
Flavor.
I swear you just said flavor then Milky, you cheeky chops. Favor.
Favor.
Okay, so last week, God was speaking to the individual. This week, we're seeing God speak to lots of people, like a nation.
Oh, cool.
And our specific story for this week is God speaking to his special nation, the Israelites.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the Israelites actually was the nation that kind of came from Abraham.
Oh, so it ties into what we learned last week.
It does. Do you remember Abraham? He was promised land, and he was promised family and blessing. And we kind of looked at blessing last week. Well, the family is the Israelites.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, how exciting is
That's
that?
so exciting.
Now, they are a special group of people, and God was leading them to the promised land.
Oh,
which is
really?
The other promise.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good segue, Johanna.
Thank you, Milky. And so, this week we're going to hear a story about God leading the people through a very tricky part of their journey.
Oh, cool.
And God does it in a really powerful way.
Awesome.
Do you want to have a seat and I can explain a little bit more to the kids and to you?
Yeah, I'll try.
You comfy there, Milky?
Yes.
All right, let me explain a little bit more. Okay, so this week, kids, we are looking at the story that comes in Joshua, and it is the story about the Israelites crossing this river called the River Jordan. Now, the Israelites are crossing a river without any bridges. And basically what happens is they go to cross this river, and God's done this before, and he parts the water so they can walk through. But God asked them to take 12 stones to represent each tribe of Israel, which is that whole nation. He tells them to take 12 stones and to carry them through and to put them on the other side as a memorial. Now that's a big tricky word, and that just kind of helps you remember. There's memorials for Anzac Day, like Anzac memorials that help us remember what the troops did the Anzac troops did. There can be memorials for people that have died, and there can be other war memorials and things like that. Basically, it is something that helps us to remember. Okay, it's something to help us remember that thing. Often it might be wars, people, things like that. So he asked them to build this memorial so that when they look at that, they can remember how God powerfully helped them to get to the promised land, powerfully helped them to cross the river. Now, that's a really important thing for you to remember this week, because this week, yes, we're looking at God speaking to a whole bunch of people, to a whole nation, but what I want you to see is how important it is for us when God speaks, God does amazing things, for us to share those amazing things. God didn't want the Israelites to just build the memorial and look at it and go, wow, God is powerful. That's great. He wanted them to look at it. He wanted other people who weren't the Israelites to look at it and go, wow, God is powerful. But he wanted the Israelites to go and tell and remember that God is powerful, but tell other people that God is powerful. Now for us, we don't have the crossing of the river as something that we specifically need to remember. I mean, it is important to look at that story and go, wow, God is powerful, and we should tell other people about that. But I want you to think, what do you think is something powerful that God has done that he might want you to remember? Can you guess what it is? Something that we celebrate at Easter. It's Jesus. Jesus is our powerful thing that God has done for us. And we don't need some rocks, or we don't need a wooden cross to help us remember. We kind of can look at the Bible, or we ourselves can become the memorial. The more we become like Jesus, the more people can look at us and go, wow, look at what God has done. I want to follow him. Or we can read the Bible for ourselves, and that can help us remember all the amazing things God has done in the Old Testament and in Jesus. And we can go, wow, he's so powerful. I'm going to share him with everyone. Now, the Israelites, they didn't build the memorial because God wanted them to just remember the crossing. He wanted them to remember that he is powerful and that they should share it with other people. God, for us, he wants us to look at the cross and to see that he is powerful, and he wants us to share that with other people. God is so powerful that he can speak not only to one person like Abraham, but he can speak to a whole nation, and he can talk to them. And that's many times in the Bible, not just through, again, prophets or creation or things like that. God speaks to the actual nation. But God also speaks to us through the Bible, and that's kind of what we've been trying to get at this whole term already. 4 weeks in, and we're just meeting God in the Bible each week, and we really want you to see that you can meet God in the Bible each week. But like we have started to look at, that, you know, we don't just listen to the word, we do what it says. And last week we needed to make sure that we remembered that God was faithful and he keeps his promises. This week I want you to remember that we should be sharing God with other people. We don't just meet God in the Bible and that's it. We meet God in the Bible, we do what he says, we know that we can trust him, and now we know that we should be sharing him with other people. And that's a pretty cool thing that you get to do, and you get to do wherever you go. You get to do it at school, you get to do it at home, you get to do it just by walking around, because the more you become like Jesus, the more people will see you and they'll go, God is amazing and I want to know him. And that's so exciting, and that's something that you can do. And the more you know about Jesus and the more excited you get about Jesus, the more you'll share him. Just like Milky, like he just was so excited. The more he was learning about whale milk, the more he was sharing it with everyone, the more he was sharing it with me. And the more you learn about God, the more you should be sharing it with other people, the more you should be sharing it with your friends, the more you should be talking about him all the time. Because whale milk, yeah, that's cool and that's amazing, but God is so much better, and he made the whales that make the whale milk. And you know, you can share that that is who you know, and that is who you are following. You're following the God of whale milk. And that's a fun fact for you this week.
What?
Milky, that's my toothpaste.
Oh, yum!
Milky!
I've eaten all the toothpaste!
I need to brush my teeth later.
You're gonna have to buy some more!
Oh, well, Milky, last week we learned that God was... Do you remember that word?
Flavor!
Faithful.
Oh, yeah.
You did it again. You're not even in... Milky!
I can't...
Stop eating toothpaste.
I can't get up! I'm stuck! I'm stuck down here!
Well, you did it. You got yourself too comfortable to come up.
I'm not comfortable, I'm stuck! Just can we cut? Just cut for a second while I get back up? Oh,
Okay.
I'm back!
I'm glad that you're back, Milky. Last week we learned that God was...
Faithful! Faithful! Flavor!
Last week we learned that God was faithful, he keeps his promises, and this week in our story we were seeing kind of like two of those promises. The first was the family was the nation of Israel, like a whole nation, and the second was he was taking them to the promised land. Now, God, not only is he faithful, but he's amazing. I don't know if you heard, or if you were listening, or you were too busy eating the toothpaste, but God, he actually kind of is the creator of whale milk.
Oh, wow!
Because he created the world, right?
Yeah.
And he's that amazing, he created the whale, and the whale creates...
Whale milk!
Right? So you know how you were so excited and you were sharing about whale milk?
Yeah.
I was teaching the kids that they should be sharing about God.
Awesome! Yeah, he's way better than whale milk.
I know. And I hope that they remember, and I hope that you remember, that God is so awesome and he's so amazing and he's done so many amazing things for us.
Yeah.
And we can meet him in the Bible, but we shouldn't stop there. We should tell everyone.
Share it with everyone.
Yeah, share it with everyone. Just like you were doing with your whale milk.
Yes. So good. Hey.
Yeah.
One milk and honey.
That's very true.
I love milk.
You do love milk.
I love milk.
Okay, I heard you. Bye, kids.
Bye,